Hey, in this video we're going to go over arithmetic sequences and what they are, how to determine various terms, and how to solve for unknowns. So let's say we have 3, then 9, and 15, and 21, and it keeps going on to some term in the very distance. So we just say this is my first term, my second term, third term, fourth term, and so on. Now I can notice that t1 is equal to 3, and t2, well, that's equal to 9. But if I look at this, I can see that from t1 to t2, that's just 6. I've added 6. And if I go from t2 to t3, I've added 6 again. So I can say, well, that looks like I've actually just got t1 plus some difference. So what that equates to is now 3 plus 6. So now I know that the difference is actually just 6. So if I look at t3 now, well, that's just going to be t1 plus some difference, right? But there's t1, t2, t3, so I'm jumping twice. I have 2 jumps. So I actually have to multiply my difference by 2. So now this one equals 15. So what would happen if I wanted to find the nth term? And there's a lot of terms in between. Well, I know this is just the first term. It's t1 plus some difference, and I'm going to multiply it by how many steps. So if I went from 1 all the way to n, I don't jump n times, I jump n minus 1 times. And that's to say I go from, to get to 2, I only did 1 jump. To get to 3, I did 2 jumps. So to get to n, I do n minus 1 jumps. So this is our general term. And if we want to solve for it, let's say if we wanted to find Tn for this, well, I know T1 is 3, and I have n minus 1 times the difference, and my difference is 6. So then Tn equals 3 plus 6n minus 6, which is Tn equals minus 3 plus 6n. So if I wanted to find T7, well, that's just minus 3 plus 6 times 7. And 6 times 7 is 42. 42 minus 3 is 39. So that's essentially how we're going to solve these. We're going to use this equation a lot. And we're going to use it to find all our unknowns. So let's just say we want to, what are the first 4 terms? Find first 4 terms. And it tells me T1 equals 11, and my difference equals minus 4. Okay, so, well, I want to know Tn, so that's going to be T1, which is 11, plus n minus 1 times negative 4. So Tn is 11 minus 4n plus 4. So Tn equals 15 minus 4n. Okay, so now T1 is 15 minus 4 times 1, so it's 11. T2 is 15 minus 4 times 2, which is 8, so that's 7. T3 is 15 minus 4 times 3 is 12, so that's 3. And I haven't given myself quite enough room. We'll jump back here. Let's do this. T4 equals 15 minus 4 times 4, which is 16, so it's minus 1. So I have the sequence of 11, 7, 3, minus 1. So that's T1, T1, T2, T3, and T4. So now, what if it said something like T100 is 72, and the difference is minus 5, what is T1? Okay, so I know the general equation, Tn equals T1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. So let's say n is 100. So then if that's the case, I have 72 Tn, T100 is 72, T1, I don't know, plus, and I have 100 minus 1, and the difference is minus 5. So that's 72 equals T1, and that's 99. And 99 times negative 5 is minus 495. So I add 495 to each side, and I find that T1 equals, and that's 7, and that's 6, so that's 5, 6, 7. So T1 equals 567. Now, if I wanted to find the general term, then I would say, okay, well, Tn equals T1, which is 567, plus n minus 1 times d, which is negative 5. And then that is Tn equals 5, 6, 7 plus, well, plus 5 minus 5n. So that equals this plus 5, so that's 5, 7, 2 minus 5n. And that's your general term right there. Okay, let's say I don't know what my unknown is. So let's say I don't know what n is, but I know that t of some number equals 113. And I know that the difference is 11, and my t1 is 14. This is a new problem. So I just don't know what n is, but I can go through and solve this. I still use the Tn equals T1 plus n minus 1 times d. I don't know what n is, so it's an unknown, but I know t of some number is 113. So I'm just going to say whatever n is, it's going to be 113. So now T1 is 14 plus, and I have n, which I'm going to solve for, and the difference is 11. So I distribute these. So I got 113 equals, and this is going to be minus 11 here, so that's 3 plus 11n. So I subtract 3 from both sides. I have 110 equals 11n. So we divide by 11, and we find that n equals 10. So that tells me that t of 10 is 113. And now I can solve for the general term. So I can say, well, Tn equals T1, which is 14 plus n minus 1 times my difference, which is 11. So we can go through, and that's going to be 3 plus 11n. And that's arithmetic sequences. So it's not too difficult. You just really need to know how to use this equation to find the terms. So the general term, it has all our unknowns, all our variables.